talk NBA for a second here, right? I'm watching these series, and I seen a game last night was Minnesota and Memphis. And why Minnesota is in a little bit of trouble is you got Karl Anthony Towns and you got D'Angelo Russell. Awesome offensive players. But you can attack them on the defensive end. And if you're Minnesota, you should never went through that drought that you had before. You should have been attacking Ja Morant like Pat Bev was at the beginning of the game. So that series is going to be very interesting and see what happened in the next game. You got Golden State, and it's the same thing that happened to Joker last year. Same thing's happening to Joker right now. They put Joker in a pick and roll. Joker doesn't want to come up. If he comes up, there's a three-pointer hitting his head, right? If he doesn't come up, there's a three-pointer. If he comes up, they drive by him and got a layup. So they're just attacking Joker. And the same thing that happened when he played against the Suns last year, I think. Chris Paul put him in pick and rolls. It was either a lob to Ayton or shooting a three because Joker can't play the defense like that. So basically, Denver's done. They don't have enough bullets in the gun. They don't got Jamal. They don't got Michael Porter Jr. So the Nuggets are eventually going to be done. When I look at the Suns and New Orleans matchup, that's going to be tough. I think if you're Phoenix now, you know I got to see Bridges more on Brandon Ingram. And if you don't have that matchup a lot, it's going to be very interesting on what's going to happen with the Suns. They could go big and play a little bit bigger, put Jamal McGee with DeAndre Ayton and see if that works out for them. But it's going to be very interesting on what the Suns do moving forward, especially not having Devin Booker. I had them a little bit as an underdog in that series. Now, the Boston-Brooklyn series, everybody's going nuts about how Kevin Durant ain't doing nothing, how the Boston Celtics are playing amazing defense, which is all true, right? But me watching the highlights and watching the game, the number one thing I'm noticing is Kevin's getting about two guys running to him almost all the time, just contesting his shot and things of that nature. And I'm looking at Kevin going, if you just pass the ball, brother, to score buckets sometimes, you can't just go ISO and say, I'm going to score. If he passes the ball, he's got shooters all around him. He's got Patty Mills. He's got Dragic. He's got Seth Curry. He's got Kyrie Irving. He's got all. That's why I'm looking at their team going, they need Ben Simmons. Because if Ben Simmons doesn't play this series, they ain't winning. Because they need Ben to defend either Tatum or Brown. Because Tatum and Brown are looking at it like, you really going to put Patty Mills on Tatum or Brown? Or you going to put a Dragic on Tatum and Brown? And they're taking advantage of that matchup. And Kevin just needs to pass the ball around and get his teammates involved. Kyrie's got to do the same thing. Because that's why you saw, I think, Brown had a big game. And you saw Dragic have a big game, especially in the first half in the game too. Is because they were so focused on Irving and Brown. And if Kyrie and Kevin were to pass, they would get more open shots for themselves and their teammates. And then it'd be harder to guard, and I could see a big change in that series. Miami and Atlanta. Listen, Atlanta, if you don't have Clint Capella, you ain't winning that series. You're not winning a game in the series. Clint Capella is the underrated MVP of your team. He's a defensive anchor, the lob threat. He's the yin to the yang for Trae Young. And if you're not getting Clint back, you ain't winning the game. Miami's too deep, too crazy defensively. Another series that is very interesting, that Chicago-Milwaukee series. If they don't have Chris Middleton, the Bucks are in trouble. They're definitely in trouble. I was not expecting Chicago to play this type of defense, but the defense that they're playing right now, yeah, the Bucks are in serious trouble. Giannis could do whatever he wants, but they're really collapsing the paint. They're forcing Milwaukee to go pass it out to shooters, and it's going to be very interesting on what goes on, especially in Chicago, moving forward. When it comes to my Raptors, right here, yeah, Game 3 was a lot better. Missed some timely free throws. Hit that inbound play at the end to get the shot to Joel Embiid. I got like you didn't want to guard the inbound passer, okay, whatever, but they called timeout with 0.6 seconds. NBA, first and first, Doc Rivers went way out of that coaching circle. I don't know how he didn't get a technical for that, but hey, whatever. But then he gets out of the circle, calls a timeout, 0.6 seconds. You're Nick Nurse, and you keep Fred VanVleet on the court when you're trying to switch everything. You got Kim Birch. You would have me personally, I would have thought maybe they're going to try to throw a lob or something, right? So why didn't you throw in Kim Birch? Why didn't you put in Chris Boucher and you kept Freddie on there? And you had a timeout or a couple of timeouts. So I think you could have called a timeout after the play, subbed in Freddie back in the game if you wanted to take out one of those bigs and see what happens. You don't do that. Obviously, Joel Embiid, they set a pick on Precious to give Joel, and especially using Fred's guy a little bit, and he's got a clear look at the basket, shooting a three, and the game is over. Moving forward, if you're a Raptor fan, to me, a couple of things is Scottie Barnes healthy? Because we massively need Scottie Barnes in this game 4. That's one. And two, in pick and roll coverages, I like attacking Harden and I like attacking Maxey. Those are two of Philadelphia's better offensive players. I think if you can attack them on the defensive end, it takes away from their offense, and then you can go back at Philly. So that's going to be very interesting to see moving forward, because I think Toronto can, I know it sounds weird, but I think Toronto has a chance to possibly come back in this series. They got to win game 4. Bring it to game 5, see what happens. Game 5 will be different. I think Philly could take it in Philly, but if they don't win in game 5, it will go to game 7 and anything will happen. What other series is there out there I can think of? Oh, yeah, that's all I can think of. Oh, Utah, Dallas. Let me tell you something. Okay, Rudy Gobert. Let me tell you about the Utah Jazz. This is what pissed me off. I don't think they're real. I never thought they were real. They piss me off and they get on my nerves. But here's the thing. You got Rudy Gobert there, right? Your backup center is Hassan Whiteside. Every single day in practice, he's got Hassan Whiteside right there, right? Every day in practice, he should post up 10, 15, 20 times, 30 times in a day. Posting up Hassan Whiteside, working on his post moves to score buckets in the post. Yep. Then he could turn around, face up, take shots, work on his offense. Then the whole entire season, the first 2 or 3 possessions when you tip the ball, make Rudy do that in the game. Couple of possessions in the first quarter, couple possessions in the second quarter, couple of possessions in the third quarter, fourth quarter, throughout the whole entire regular season. So when you have them in the playoffs now, you can attack people in the post using Rudy Gobert. Do you do that? No, you do not. All he is set a pick, throw a lob, dunk, right? Now Dallas goes and says, okay, we're going to play small. And it's the same thing that happened to you last year. Clippers went small, took Rudy Gobert out of the game, and Utah still has not gotten a small ball lineup. Donovan Mitchell cannot do it all, you know? And on top of that, Jason Kidd is so smart that he put Donovan Mitchell and forced him to play defense to take away some of his offense, because you know Donovan Mitchell can get you 30 points. But what can the other guys get you? That's why I was looking at their team a little bit and saying, man, you got Houston over there, John Wall sitting down. Woods is on that team. You can make a little move, bring in John Wall, bring in Woods. He shoots threes, stretches out the court. Then Donovan Mitchell has more lanes to drive, and he can still throw that lob. But hey, you know, I'm not a GM. I'm just saying certain stuff, you know. But yeah, Utah. And on top of that, the game with Utah and Dallas, Utah plays small. When they play small, they come all the way back. Then I think in the last 5 minutes or 6 minutes in the fourth quarter, you bring back Rudy Gobert to come back in the court, and the same thing happens to you again. Like, what are you thinking? Play Pascal, run small, and let's see what happens. Because that's how you got back in the game in the first place. Dallas does not have this yet. You know, play small, match up small for small, and let's go and then battle it out. Yeah, but the NBA, whoo, it's been sweet. Like some of these players and the highlights, like Joel Embiid is a big man shooting threes and step backs. I never seen a center do them type of stuff. Look at Joker bringing the ball up at center. My boy's Patrick Ewing. I never seen PE do stuff like that. You know, John Morant. I loved AI. AI jumped. AI didn't jump like that, you know, and stuff like that. And then Steph Curry shooting it from the parking lot, and then all them guys stop. I don't want to hear that stupid nickname Lethal Weapon 3. That's all crap because it disrespects my boy Andrew Wiggins and Draymond because they're on the court too. And it's dangerous. We've seen this happen before. This is the third variation of this. It was a small ball lineup when they had Kevin Durant, and they had that with Andre Iguodala. They had the same situation again when they started it the first time with, I think it was Barnes and stuff like that. So, yeah, this is the third variation of the Warriors, but they're dangerous. This is going to be a very, very interesting of who is going to be in the championship because Boston looks dangerous right now. I like Boston. I thought Boston had a chance to win the championship and stuff like that. So I thought they needed Robert Williams. I still think they will need Robert Williams, but see what happens. I don't think Brooklyn is done yet. I think Brooklyn needs Ben Simmons to play this series because they need him to guard a Tatum. They need him to guard Brown. They need him to bring the ball up, and they need him to be the passer and distributor and all that stuff. I'm not sure if Brooklyn's ready this year because they won't have any chemistry playing together. And they will need, I think they might need next year a full season of them playing to become what they need to become. But we'll see. We'll see moving forward. Yeah, the Bucks are in trouble. Chicago defense is really ramped up. I was not expecting that from them and stuff like that. If you like the Knicks, I'm a Knicks fan, so let's talk about Knicks for a second. Julius Randle needs to get traded. It was too much. He did a contract year. In the contract year, he looked amazing. You got fool's gold, and you went and overpaid for the man. And now I think you should try to trade him or move him. See what happens with that. So that'd be very interesting if you're a Knicks fan. Yeah. Minnesota, you're gonna be having a little issues. Townsend and Russell don't play D. Joker don't play D. There's a lot of guys out there that you call them household names and they're awesome, but they're not two-way basketball players. And in order for Denver to win, you need Joker on the court, but Joker is also a defensive liability. That's why the Nuggets ain't real. You look at Utah, they got Rudy Gobert, awesome defensive player, can't get them buckets. So a little bit of offensive liability. So it's going to be very interesting of who's going to be in these Western Conference Finals, who's going to be in the NBA Championship. The Warriors just look really, really good. But if they play Memphis, Memphis has had their number for a while, and I don't know if they can guard Ja. So it'll be very interesting. Well, I'm out. Peace.